everybody, and welcome to the Bob Stoops app. Brad McMullen along with Hall of Fame football coach Bob Stoops talking about all the big games this week, and none bigger than the big noon kickoff, which features at-home Baylor taking on Oklahoma, the six-time defending Big 12 champ. Two ranked teams, and it's a huge one for OU for the playoff race.
It's a big game, and listen, Baylor's a heck of a football team, really good football team, and in the position I'm in with Fox Big Noon Kickoff, I get a chance to study tape every week, and I've been watching Baylor through the year and very impressed with them. Dave Aranda and his staff there have done an awesome job. There's no smoke and mirrors. They're just really good, solid football team everywhere. I look at them offensively. They're really balanced and have the first or second rushing attack in the league. They're Smith and Ebner, their two running backs, are physical, tough guys. Smith, the leading rusher, I think he is in the conference, was a linebacker a year ago, but obviously has a history of being a running back, and really does well. And tough physical runners. And then Bohannon, their quarterback, can run a little bit. He some designed runs, but then he's good at scrambling, pulling the ball down, gaining some yards. And anyway, so they're a good football team, and defensively they're in top, middle, in most every defensive category. So, you hope, I guess, for OU's sake, looking at TCU, they went into the TCU game, Baylor, really in great shape defensively in all categories. And TCU really made them look bad in a lot of areas. I mean, they threw the ball for 430-some yards.
Chandler
Morris in his first start, and good for him. I watched that game. He was incredibly impressive, making plays on his own, running around, scrambling. Baylor had a hard time with that. They got some big pass plays on them. Hopefully, OU with some of their big play receivers and Caleb, Williams playing well can get some big plays on them and some scrambling on them and design quarterback run plays, much like TCU did. So, Baylor, a heck of a football team. OU's getting some guys back on defense. I know they're hopeful that that's going to make a difference for them and play a little more solid on defense. They need to, and I think they will. They got to control the run game. OU does. That's going to be the biggest deal. And try and force Bohannon to have to beat them throwing the ball. And I don't think that's what they want to do. They want to play running the football and running the football well. So if OU can handle that, I think it'll make a difference. OU, the kicking game with Gabe Burkich is as good as it gets. And Michael Turk, their punter. Although OU in some games hasn't punted much.
No.
But the guy's had like 6 punts of over 50 yards. I mean, he can really change the game and help that way too. So it's going to be a heck of a game. Anticipating a close, hard-fought game.
Now, I know it's just 6 quarters, but if you look at the last 6 quarters Oklahoma played defensively, they rank in the top 10 in the country in defensive efficiency. They're starting to play better. You mentioned it. They're getting healthier. And I think the last 2 weeks of the college football playoff disrespect, lack of respect, whatever you want to say, that is in the locker room. Everyone knows they need to go out there and play well. And I feel like the way that Chandler Morris played last week, that Baylor struggled with a mobile quarterback, a dual threat quarterback, and that's exactly what you've got in Caleb Williams.
Absolutely, and that's going to need to happen. Caleb will make some plays. He does. They make some plays downfield, throwing the ball, get big plays hopefully like TCU did. And defensively, if they can really control the run game, and TCU controlled Baylor's run game, even though they ran for near 200 yards, it wasn't as much as Baylor's been used to running and controlling the game running. They put Baylor in a lot of long yardage situations by hitting them on first and second down, stuffing the run game, and puts them in long yardage.
Now, the flip side of things, Baylor dominated the line of scrimmage against Texas and also against a very good BYU team. And not that you think anybody would want to overlook a team, but think about what was coming in last week. TCU had just fired their coach. They were starting a new quarterback. And all of the attention was on the Baylor-Oklahoma game next week. Not that a team should overlook somebody, but maybe potentially TCU did in Baylor.
Absolutely. I don't think
Baylor and TCU
could have, and everyone guards against it. But human nature is human nature, and anytime you think you're going to have an easy go of it, it's never that way, on the football field. And you roll your hat out there thinking you're just going to get a win, you get it kicked right back at you. And I'm not saying that, give TCU credit. They had a heck of a game plan and executed it and made it work.
All right, the Vegas odds makers have Oklahoma favored by 5 points on the road. How do you see this game ending?
I see OU winning by 7 to 10. I think we're going to, OU, or I'd say we're. I don't like. I'm a homer. Everyone knows it's still we, and I think we play well, and I think we meet the challenge. I know everyone talks, well, we're going there to play. It's going to be hostile. OU loves to play on the road, and our track record and winning record on the road, I think, speaks to that. Our guys get energized when everybody's after them too. So I see that being an advantage almost.
And by the way, you can always say we because it's your team. And also your son just found out recently that he's up for a national award. Got to be proud, Dad.
Yeah, he's he works hard and always, off season. Loves playing ball, and he's having an positive impact on the team. So that's great. We love it.
Outstanding. All right, other big games to talk about.
And the award is the Burlsworth Award.
That's right. Who Baker Mayfield won.
Given to the guy who started his career as a walk-on, and he's earned a scholarship. It's like Baker, like you said, won it twice, and obviously earned a scholarship within a few months of being here at OU.
Well, I think they can just keep the trophy here in Norman.
Yeah.
I think it's good. All right, other big game to talk about. Michigan on the road at Penn State. Vegas has it almost as a you pick 'em. Michigan favored by just 1 point.
Going to be a heck of a game. I like Michigan watching them this year. They just do a really, really great job defensively. They, run the football really effectively. They don't make their quarterback, they don't put a lot of stress on him. But Penn State's been awesome on defense. So I think they are going to stress Michigan, force them to have to throw the ball. McNamara, Michigan's quarterback, is going to have to, work the ball and throw the ball maybe more than he's used to doing. They bring in McCarthy, this freshman quarterback. Michigan does quite a bit. So you wonder if they won't go with him more if that's the case. If you've got to have more downfield passing, we'll see. But Penn State, other than they lose their quarterback in the Iowa game, or they probably, I hate to say that against my Hawkeyes, may not lose that game because they were winning at the time when he goes out of the game. And but I see, and it's at Penn State, I believe, right? So
yeah, it is at Penn State.
Yeah, I think Penn State will beat them. They're a solid team. They're kind of, they had that, a 3-game losing skid, I think, and they rebounded last week, and I think they'll get it done.
And a huge game for Jim Harbaugh. We always say this, the big games that he struggled with, this, any of the games you lose are considered big games after the fact. But this is a big, big game on national television for him.
And Sean Clifford, the quarterback, is going to need a big game for Penn State. And if they're going to have a chance to win, because Michigan is really tough against the run game, but you can get some big plays in the passing game. And I think it's Dotson, right, their big play receiver, number 5. If he can make some big plays, he and Clifford, I think, can make a difference.
All right, former coach with you, Mississippi State taking on Auburn. Auburn ranked number 17, 5.5-point favorite against Mike Leach.
Where's the game?
The game is in Auburn.
Yeah, I love the way Auburn's played all year. I know, and I give Jimbo Fisher great credit. A&M beat them last week. Auburn's a really good football team, and Coach Fisher, A&M beat them last week. Again, he's doing a great job with Calzada, so I shouldn't have jumped games, but Auburn's a good football team. I love what Brian Harsin has done there. Love the way Bo Nix plays, scrappy, tough guy, the way he plays their quarterback. They run the football well, good solid defense, and I love Mike Leach and Steve Spurrier Jr. Both those guys coach with me are there at Mississippi State. But at Auburn, I think Auburn, just all-around football team, is too good.
I agree with you. I think Auburn will win at home. All right, number 1, Georgia at Tennessee. Tennessee, an upstart team under Coach Heupel there, doing well. 1 game away from bowl eligibility at 5-4, but Georgia favored by 20 on the road.
Yeah, I think it'll be closer than that with the way Coach Heupel, Josh, is. their offense and the tempo they're playing with, the quarterback run game, all of it together, I think they may bother Georgia more than anyone else has overall. And but we'll see. It's kind of hard to pick against Georgia as well as they've played. Their defense is one for the ages, So the game's in Tennessee.
The game is in Tennessee.
I think they'll keep it closer than that.
All right. Purdue at Ohio State. Can Purdue pull off another shocker? Vegas says no, absolutely not. Purdue is an underdog by 21 at the Horseshoe.
I like the under. I mean, I like Purdue and the points. They're good. They're better than you want them to be. I've watched them a lot. Solid in every part of the game, defensively, offensively. Jeff Brom, their head coach, has done an awesome job. And Ohio State, as positive and good as they are, they have some warts. They've had some problems through the year, and primarily on defense. They've still, pass defense is ranked very low. Purdue can throw the football and make plays that way. I still believe too, Ohio State, I'm worried that they don't run the ball as effective as they should have. And that, I think, puts them in some trouble, puts a lot of pressure on C.J. Stroud, their quarterback. So I think those two things make that closer than you want it to be.
Yeah, and Ohio State against Nebraska last week, it was a one-possession ball game with under 2 minutes left to go. I mean,
absolutely. And Nebraska had some tough. They have an interference call again. When they have the ball, Nebraska on 3rd and 10, that isn't called, that clearly should have been. And otherwise, Ohio State may not get the ball back, and Nebraska does have a chance to go down, tie, or take the lead. And so they've been a little unlucky, Nebraska, on top of having some misfortune and shooting herself in the foot a little bit. They missed 2 field goals, easy field goals in the game as well. So, yeah, Ohio State hasn't been as dominant and with decent teams as you might think.
Yeah, a close game against Nebraska. They still moved up. The only team that plays Nebraska close and goes backwards is Oklahoma. That's a nice slight there. All right, talking about some other games.
Boy, you're sensitive.
A little sensitive there. All right, Minnesota at Iowa. Your Hawkeyes favored by 5.5.
Well, I got to go with my Hawks.
Yeah, you got to go with that.
You don't know. This is for the Bronze Pig, Floyd of Rosedale. How the
what?
Lot of the Big
What
Ten
is this for again?
Bordering states, we play for different trophies.
Yeah.
The Bronze Pig is Floyd of Rosedale.
Okay, Bronze
I can't
Pig.
give you the whole background of it, but
Someone's
anyway,
bring home the bacon.
Yeah, somebody's going to win the trophy. So Minnesota's been a good team, but so has Iowa. And Iowa bounced back win last week. I thought they really needed it. I liked the new quarterback. Went in and played really well. I think that's going to give them a spark.
And they're at home.
And they're at home. And again, I still believe in Iowa's defense will really be great again. And believe Iowa will cover that.
And we've talked a little bit about Jimbo Fisher, the challenges going into this season, the big win against Alabama, and they've been good with that backup quarterback ever since. Now they're going on the road at number 15, Ole Miss. A&M favored by 2.5.
Yeah, and I like that. Ole Miss is explosive. They've got that, that high tempo and, deep passing game with Matt Corral, strong running game. But A&M's defense is really good. Other than Georgia, they're up there with about anyone else, of playing great defense, tough to run on them. So I think, and again, Jimbo's done an incredible job with Zach Calzada, their quarterback. Yes. The first 2 games I saw him play, I thought, oh my goodness,
he was learning.
What they've done an incredible job with him. But then from that Alabama game on, the guy's been incredible. He's playing great. So I love to see that for the quarterback to come on like he has, and Jimbo give him all the props to bring him along that way. So they're playing great. They beat a really good Auburn team I just talked about last week, and that's not easy to do. So I see them winning and covering that.
All right, NC State at Wake Forest. Wake Forest, of course, their first loss of the season last week. Wake Forest favored by 2 points.
Yeah, I think their defense, people are starting to see it. They're really poor on defense, Wake Forest.
Yeah.
NC State is strong on offense. Believe they'll take advantage of that. And I believe it's going to start falling, not falling apart. That's not the right thing to say, but I see NC State winning this game.
It was interesting when you saw Wake Forest give up over 50 points to Army and still win.
Yeah.
It's interesting
Exactly.
there. All right. Arkansas, number 25 at LSU. LSU, a home underdog by 2.5.
Yeah, I love Arkansas. Just Sam Pittman, the job they've done there year round, all through the year. Just been solid, tough football team. They run the ball well. They're tough. They're defensively they play well. They mix things up, and LSU's been up and down. I just find it hard that they can keep putting it together.
Yeah. Knowing
the coach is leaving, Ed Orgeron is leaving, and all that may transpire in the next few weeks. I don't know. I think Arkansas is a really solid team, and I'd take them.
All right, final game to talk about. TCU, the Chandler Morris Show, in game number 2 at Oklahoma State. The Cowboys, the number 10 team in the country, favored by 13 points.
And I like that. I think Oklahoma State's a great football team right now. I love their running back. Jalen Warren makes plays. Spencer Sanders is getting more deep balls and making bigger plays that way. And their defense is fantastic. Their defense is first, second in the league with Iowa State and everything. And Jim Knowles, their D coordinator, does an incredible job of mixing coverages and blitzes and not letting the offense ID what you're doing ahead of the snap, which makes it tough on the old coordinators in the press box and the quarterback behind center that they don't know what to expect until the ball snapped. And that helps. They do a great job of it. And so anyway, and I know Chandler Morris, I love what he did last week, and what a good player. And we had him here at OU. Great young man, and wish him the best, and he's well on his way, but he's going to have a much tougher time this week against Oklahoma State, I think anyway. I like Oklahoma State.
Yeah, OSU looks really, really good. Well, when you're waking up on Saturday morning and you're yawning and you're getting out of bed, grab that remote, turn it to Fox so you can watch the big noon kickoff, and that big game, Baylor and Oklahoma, will be their game of the week. The good news for Oklahoma, if they lose, they're probably going to move up in the polls, because that's the one thing they haven't done.
Yeah,
because if you lose, you move up.
Yeah, let's not go there. We're not going to do that. And I won't be yelling boomer as much either on the set as I normally am.
Enemy territory there. And again, you can win lunch with Coach Bob Stoops. Just enter to win right here inside the mobile app. And don't forget, for videos anytime, 24/7, just tap on our video link. For the Hall of Fame football coach, Bob Stoops, I'm Brad McMullen.